I don't want to see one more white creator clutch their pearls or tell me how they're horrified or how they want to leave the country and how you're having a mental breakdown and how it's too much to handle about what's happening in this country. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about it. I truly don't. You got a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of an inch what it's like to be black in this country. Feels pretty shitty, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Do you know why we're here? It's because our demographic, primarily white men who this land was designed to benefit, didn't stand up with people of color, with our black brothers and sisters, with the Native Americans, with minorities, because it didn't affect them. That's why we're here. There is the class war, eat the rich, yes. This is about the original sin of this country. Make America white again, because that's what they want. Last night I was on a live, and this lady was just heartbroken. She's like, I don't know, like we had, 75 years of progress, and it's all being taken away. And I asked a question, and I think it's the right question. Was it progress, or was it just suppressed? I would argue the latter, because it sure feels like this racism is like a reservoir, and it's a body of water behind a dam, and it's been dying to push out. And that's what this Klan leader is in the White House. He is that outlet for the dam. He unleashed it. It was there. Our neighbors, our friends, our family, they were always racist. He just said, hey, little Billy, hey, it's okay. Don't hide anymore. Take off your white hoods. Don't hide your face. Do it in public. Who were they going after? They're racially profiling people. DEI, CRT, equality, Charlie Kirk, the white supremacist. Hey, if the pilot's black, do I know that they're qualified? Has he ever said that about a white pilot? Of course not. Who did they pick? The most unqualified, bumbling idiot. A convicted felon, caused an insurrection, cheats on his wives, sexual abuse. But hey, you know what? He's white.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter Chinook Stories. Man, I don't want to say much. I just want you to watch what these gentleman says about white people, because you tend to realize that in as much as people complain that a lot of problem that we are seeing in the United States today is being caused by black people. Why would we take a minute back and just look at the decision, the wrong decision that some white folks have done that has led the United States to where it is today? Honestly, let's just take time and look at that, because when they try to say that black people are making the United States worst for everyone, I didn't see no black person make any wrong decision. Maybe a few, maybe, countable ones, but majority of white people voted for Mr. Donald Trump overwhelmingly, emotionally, without thinking logically about all these things that are going to be affecting them. You know what? I don't want to say much. I'll give you the chance to watch the video, reason with me out, and think. Do you think black people are the part of the problem? Honestly, let me know what you think about this. And then I'm just having a simple plea. Brothers and sisters, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get what we can offer you. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back.
You see a lot of these evangelicals, because I see a lot of them in my family. Middle-aged white, praise Jesus, praise Jesus. Yeah, you think Jesus wants a man like this? You think he's a great reflection? No. I'm going to tell you why they support him. Because they view, when you hear the phrase nuclear family or traditional family values or Christian nation, when was this a Christian nation again? I'm sorry, because I haven't heard one thing. It was founded by founding fathers that owned slaves. They owned goddamn black people like cattle. Yeah, praise Jesus, right? Black people were worth 3/5 of a person. Praise Jesus. Only 21-year-old white men had rights in this country. Praise Jesus. Such a Christian nation. Every atrocity in this country and across the world has been done by a person with religion who has weaponized religion to push the white supremacy. That's it. Look at the Catholic Church. How many young men have been affected? And none of you Catholics stood up. You still go to church and give your tithes while they pay out billions of dollars in civil lawsuits because it didn't affect you, so you don't give a damn. Look at the Baptist Church. Decades they covered up the mistreatment of women. It's gross. And you still went to church and praise Jesus. Look at all the pastors right now that are being arrested for doing inappropriate things with people underage. Praise Jesus, right? But then you hear Bishop Uday. Kindness, compassion, empathy. Nope, we don't want that. That's right, because you want to make America white again. You want Leave It to Beaver. You want a white kid in a white ice cream shop sitting next to a white cop being served by a white ice cream server. That's what you want. And for all of you middle-aged white people, you are scared to hell that that's going away. And when you hear Fox News, they have posted 244 pieces about trans people since February. Nothing about gun violence. Nothing about universal health care. Nothing about giving people a living wage. Actual policies that would make people's lives better. Because it questions their version of the traditional family. And when you hear that, let me be very clear what traditional family values means. It means white America.
Hello.
They want to put the 10 Commandments in Texas. They want to put Bibles in Tennessee. I'm a person of faith, and I have no right, zero, to push my religion or my faith on you. That's what free will is. See, and those white Christian nationalists, those white supremacists, they don't want free will. They want to push their religious ideology on you because they actually believe this is a Christian nation, because they don't want to take 2 seconds to realize that we are a third world country, that we've never been a great nation for everybody. And that's done through indoctrination, right? You're born in American flag diapers, and you wake up every morning and you eat your Freedom Wheaties and you do the Pledge of Allegiance. Best country in the whole universe ever by not even a close measure. Then you feed your pet bald eagle and you go to work and you polish the Constitution and you have 800 trillion American flags. America, America, yeehaw, America first. But see, you don't give a damn about the people that the flag represents. You just care that your version of what America was lied to you, that you were the Truman Show, because that's what this is. You were told it was great, and it's not. Right now, the way that we're acting, we're a shithole country. And a lot of people that are white don't want to hear that. Why don't you go ask black people if they think it was great? Why don't you go ask some Native Americans if it was great for them? Because this was their land. Why don't you go ask the Hawaiians when it was great for them? Because we stole their land. We took the land from Mexico. Hell, we took black people from Africa because us white people were too goddamn lazy to do the jobs ourselves. And for all of you people demonizing immigrants, I don't see your lazy asses out in the field doing the jobs. Why is that? Because you just didn't want non-white people here. But Paul, I want them here legally. Great, let's talk about that. These people have been here for 30, 40 years. The system is screwed up, yes. But you know what? They're not criminals. They pay their bills. They pay their taxes. They have a house. They own businesses. But you voted for a white man who's a convicted felon, who caused an insurrection, who makes fun of disabled people, who's so pitiful that he cheats on his wives, all 3 of them. 25 women he's assaulted. The guy wears orange makeup and diapers. And that's your guy? Because he represents one thing: make America white again. And for a lot of you men, it's the toxic masculinity, right? You just can't admit that you've been lied to your whole life, that America has never been great for everybody. Sure, take out the bad parts. Take out Jim Crow and slavery and the unaliving of Native Americans and segregation and Black Wall Street. Sure, just take out the bad parts and just take the fraction where it's benefited white people. If we don't address this, and if people like me don't speak up like this, whether we like it or not, this is our mess. We created this. Think of it this way, and I'll leave you with this thought. I build a house, okay? This house is brand new. A black family moves into it, okay? Great, it's wonderful. It starts to get cracks in the walls and the ceilings and it sags. They come in, they look at it, and they find out that the foundation is broken, okay? That it wasn't poured correctly. It wasn't meant to hold the weight of that house. It was designed poorly. Is it up to the homeowner to fix that house? No. It's up to the person that built the house. Us, white men, the only demographic that has never been oppressed, the demographic that it was designed to support. Whether I like it or not, I have privilege. I don't want it, but I have it. So we have two options, people. We can hide behind it and clutch our pearls and bitch and whine and say, oh my gosh, it's so bad. Or we can use it to stand up and do the right thing and to tear down the patriarchy. Because white supremacy, right now, the one good thing that came out of Harris losing was that now we're forced to address the ugliness and the darkness in this country, which is white supremacy. Which path are you going to choose? How is history going to remember you? I made the mistake of going through the radio and listening to MSNBC by accident. I don't know why, I just had it in the background. And this reporter said, this is not who we are. Yeah, it is. It's exactly who we are as a country. Too many of us refuse to admit that's who we are because of our privilege. 14 million children go to school hungry. 36.8 million people, or 11.1% of our population, live in poverty. 1.9 million people are incarcerated, the highest number in the world. 800,000 people approximately that are homeless in this country. 40,000 plus people pass away every year from firearm violence. Women don't even have rights. They have their sepsis rates going up. We have a convicted felon in the White House. What do you mean that's not who we are? For 200 years, we treated people that were black less than everybody else. We said they were only worth 3/5 of a person. And the people that made those laws owned black people, like livestock, the founding fathers that you guys worship. They couldn't vote. They couldn't drink from the water fountain. Women didn't have rights. They couldn't vote, couldn't have credit, couldn't have no-fault divorce until, the 80s, I think it was? Black people couldn't vote till the 60s? We put Asians in internment camp? We stole the land from the Native Americans, some of the land we took from Mexico. Hell, we even sold the land from the Hawaiians. So, honestly, what do you mean that's not who we are? This is who we've always been. This has always been a male white patriarchy. Period. And the media and people that are online still refuse to sit it. They put their heads right up their backside and are shocked and saying, that's not who we are. So, I'm going to explain it for people in my demographic, and I'm going to keep it very short and simple. Now that you feel like a percentage, a fraction of an inconvenience, now you've actually felt a small taste, a fraction of a fraction of what it feels like to be a black person. Now you want to say, that's not who we are. Yeah, it is. But your privilege kept you from the darkness for all these years. And now it's showing up at your front door. It's who we've always been. And I'll say it again. It doesn't matter if we have the red team or the blue team in the White House or in Congress or in the Senate. Until we tear down the white patriarchy in this country and admit that America has never been great for everybody, except for my demographic, we will never be great for everybody, and we will never be equal for everybody. So don't tell me that that flag is a sign of freedom. To you, maybe. But to somebody that doesn't look like me, it was a symbol of oppression. Have a good day.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great. First of all, I'd like to thank the gentleman for coming out and talking. And honestly, as a white person who is giving his own perspective in this, I like the fact that he recognizes that They are the ones that played part of this. Maybe it might not personally get involved in that, but I understand and I appreciate the fact that he sits down and recognizes what the problem is. And as I usually say, the first step of finding the solution of a problem is identifying a problem. And that's the first thing that he did. He first began by identifying what the problem is. And I'm glad that we are all seeing this in HD. Look at all these crazy things that are happening today. It only started with one mistake. And the one very mistake that it did, it was to choose Mr. Donald Trump. A lot of scholars have come out and talked about this. Jeffrey Sachs, Richard DeWolf, all other people, Minister Louis Farrakhan from the black community. We have a lot of creators, a lot of professors, a lot of activists that have warned America towards the choices that they have made. Chris Hedges also played a part in letting people know who really Mr. Donald Trump is. And I think it makes sense right now. And I think that if time had to be taken back, I'm still sure some white folks will still make the same problem. But the question is, why will they make the same problem even after understanding that they've put them through? People say that you can be indoctrinated politically to a thing that doesn't benefit you because it's conservative and you don't want to lose maybe who you think you are. It ends up ruining you as a person. For the same very thing that you didn't want comes back and works for you. So trying to understand this concept really makes sense looking at it in a critical perspective. Another thing that I would like to say is that the problems that white America is having today is self-infliction. It's a self-inflicted problem. Why am I saying it's a self-inflicted problem? You thought that you had the white privilege, right? But it only took time to prove that Trump doesn't care about your white privilege. He doesn't care that you voted for him. Perfect example is all other these groups that really wanted to be white and voted for Mr. Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, what happened? He doesn't care about you as a white person. And this is the time to think. This is the time to reflect on what you really think is good for you, on what you really think is right for you to do as a person. All these crazy stuff that are going on, it could have just been stopped by making one right decision that majority of white people, didn't do. They voted emotionally because they were lied to. Trump played you and then dumped you. And right now you don't know where even to start. And it's crazy. It's crazy because we still have people, even though all this crazy stuff are happening, they'll still go ahead and defend him. They still go ahead and do things against their will. That's why I say it's an indoctrination. A person who is indoctrinated is a person who does things even though these things harm them. Whether they know consciously or unconsciously, they still go ahead and do the same damn things. And these has devastating effects towards their lives. These have a devastating effects towards the economic, towards their cultural, towards their social life. Today, everyone is seeing the United States as a joke. And all that glorified image that the United States had before, it's being revoked. But why? Because you decided to choose a person or things for himself and or things for the billionaire friends. And that's what happens when you decide to choose that. And so looking at all these things, whether it's farmers, whether it's contractors, whether it's CEOs, whether it's all these business owners, they are all being affected. Talking about black people had already been used to all these things that are going on, and they try to find the solution. Perfect example is black farmers versus white farmers. Look at the history between white farmers and black farmers. Nebraska, Florida, Texas, all these farmers from these states, they are complaining. The farms are rotting. There are no people to work on these farms. They want black people to come and work in these farms, but black people cannot come to work in these farms. But why? Because first, black people understand their value, understand their worth. Two, black people are not going to be following you because they are citizens of the United States and they can't be deported. They can't be waiting for your bare minimum wage that you're gonna be giving them. At least they not accept. It's not like they're lazy, but this is just a way to tell you that this is the bed that you made and you need to sleep on it. And that's what really happened. And this is what is happening that you need to understand. So looking at all these factors happening, all these factors going on today, it really makes sense to see a really white person comes out, calls out other white people for doing the wrong things. And that's just really, really right. And that's just how it's supposed to be. Because as I said, and I'll echo it again, for you to find the solution of a problem, we need to recognize where a problem comes from. And until then, we'll get to find the real solution. But now, I'm sure of this. Today again, people goes back to the ballot and make the decision. People are still going to be voting for Mr. Donald Trump, especially white people. And that's why I'm saying it's an indoctrination because you're voting against your own will. And this is what 70%, 65 to 70% of what white Trump supporters did. They overwhelmingly voted for Mr. Donald Trump. And it had devastating effects towards them. And right now, when they try to look back, they're like, damn, we made a big mistake. And how can we correct this? Right? So I really want to know what you think about this, because this gentleman wholeheartedly came out and called all these people who are part of the problem in the United States. So let me know what you think about this video. As usual, I'm your host and presenter H2 Stories. But until then, I'm hoping I'm going to be seeing you in my next video. Again, as usual, I have a plea. Kindly, if you're watching my video for the first time and you're happening to see me for the first time, I'm just asking you one thing. Please, please, please consider subscribing to my channel, join my membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.